Today on the table, we have an FN model 1910 versus an FN model 1922. So a couple people in the comments have been asking for a comparison between the two. So real quick, we'll just do, just a comparison so you can see the differences here. So, these, I can't remember what year each one is specifically, but we can look here just to see just the difference in size. So here on the 1910, this one is actually chambered in 32 ACP, and then this model 1922 is also actually chambered in 32 ACP. I don't have 380s. They both came in 32s and 380s, but these are both 32s. So you can see the difference in size. This one weighs about 590 grams. This weighs about 700 grams, and that's, again, both unloaded. And then barrel length, or at least overall length of the pistol. This one's 153. Let's try to line them up perfectly the same, though. This is 153 millimeters, and this is 178. So you guys can do the conversion, I guess, in inches. And that's total length. And then barrel length, which, the barrel on this one's about 80 millimeters here, and this one's 113 millimeters or so. So and then magazine-wise, so you can look here and see, making sure I have everything in the film here, the camera here. It's easier to, probably shouldn't ding them into each other. There we go. These older pistols magazines are hard to get out of. All right, so now we can see the difference in the magazines right here. Now they both have their FN stamps on there. You can see that right there. Magazines have their FN stamps. So on this 1910, this carried 6 rounds of either 380 or 7 rounds of 32. So this is a 7-round 32 mag. And then on the model 1922, it kept 8 rounds of 380 or 9 rounds of 32. So this is a 9-round 32, and then this is a 7-round 32. So you get an extra 2 rounds with this pistol. And because of the longer barrel, so if you remember watching my individual videos on each of these, this gun came first. Then they made this one because the armies that wanted them, or the militaries that wanted a pistol that had more rounds in it. So obviously they just copied this one and made a larger magazine and a larger frame. And then also to shoot at a greater distance, they actually made obviously the barrel a bit longer, as you can see here. And that was the reason why this one was contracted for the governments, like we'd mentioned. And if you go back and watch the other 1922 video that I posted, you can learn more about that. But here I'll show you some other stuff. And we can look at the markings on each one as well too. So this one obviously has its serial. This is the 10 again. Serial number stamped right there. And then they also stamp it on the barrel, which, let's see if you can see that right there. And then it does have proof marks all the way down the barrel as well. And then you can see the markings here on this side. There are some proofs right here underneath the slide as well. I have to look up those proofs to see what they are. I'd imagine they're just German or Spanish proofs, or even Belgian proofs that were used. I'd have to get my proof book to pull those up and see. But there's the serial numbers on that 1922. You can see there, and it says caliber. What they do is they always use they mark it in the metric. So you can see it's, was it 5.5 is what it says on there. And then, they put more of the number here, and you can see that there. Same thing, they both have a grip safety, as you can see here, and then they both have a slide safety there, as you can see. But that way you get a cool comparison between the two here, so you can see which you like better there. But yeah, just super cool. I have yet to shoot them yet, but I know some other folks in the comments have asked to see what the differences were. Just, and then you can overlay them over if you want to as well too, so you can just see the difference like that. You can see how much larger this is weight wise. I mean, between 590 grams and 700 grams, you can tell this one weighs just a little bit more, but it's negligible. I mean, you can barely tell the difference. But yeah, if you have any questions on them, let me know. Again, if you want to watch the videos, the history of each or how they came about, feel free to watch those videos. But they are super cool, and they're in fantastic condition too. I mean, I always look for ones that are I mean, they're in great condition for their age. So, pretty cool. And I like how they have these triggers that are like rounded here. You can see that there. It just fits your finger on there better. You can do the same thing here. It just makes for a smoother trigger pull. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Let me know if you have any other questions about it.